Hey everyone, and welcome to another day of social studies. I'm going to warn you guys, it's pretty late, and so this might be a little bit rough, but we're going to do the best we can. Today we're going to learn about what happens during the Mexican-American War now that it has started. What's going to happen next? All right, our agenda, we're going to set up our notebook and our in like usual. We're going to review what we learned yesterday. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at a Mexican-American War timeline, and you guys are going to fill that out. Then you're going to be using that timeline to help you create your own map of the Mexican-American War, and then we'll have our out for the day. Colors are all over the place. That's super weird. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Our learning target for today, we're going to research the events of the Mexican-American War to produce a map of the war. Our in, do you think the United States always intended to, I should say, to make, that's my bad, to make Texas? Maybe? Come on, slides. All right. Once again, for the end, do you think the United States always intended to make Texas a part of the nation, even when Texas was still a part of Mexico? You think the United States intended that, or do you think it just kind of happened and they got lucky? Topic, obviously, is the Mexican-American War. Today's date is the 18th if you are on A day, and the 19th if you're on B day. Okay? Go ahead, pause the video, take about 5 minutes, fill out that notebook. When you're finished, come on back. All right, we're going to keep pushing ahead. Hopefully pause the video and did your notebook. All right, so kind of a review of yesterday. What were the causes of the war? So our first question, and you guys can answer these in your notebook. What were the causes of the Mexican-American War? There's a couple of them. Okay, 2, how did President Polk get Congress to declare war on Mexico? How was he able to orchestrate that or cause that? Then I want you guys to make a prediction. Who do you think will win, the United States or Mexico? Go and pause the video, answer those questions in your notebook, and then we'll go ahead and continue on. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and keep going. All right, so we have a timeline map activity built together here today. It's broken into 2 parts. You're going to do the timeline part first, and then you will do the map portion. The goal today is to get completely finished the timeline part and to begin the map part and then finish that map part up during the first half of class tomorrow. Okay, so for part 1, you're going to open up the document titled The Mexican-American War Timeline, part 1, and that is attached in today's classroom assignment. Once you open that, follow the instructions, which we'll take a look at in just a second. All right, so we need to go ahead, exit out of our slides. We'll jump over to Google Classroom. Okay, you have the Mexican-American War Timeline Part 1. Go ahead and open that up. Once it's open, it's going to look like this. Okay, our directions. So the following activity is broken into 2 parts, a research timeline and a corresponding map. Both will help you guys create an account of the various events that occurred during the Mexican-American War. Part 1 will be completed on this document with these instructions below. Alright, so part 1, timeline of the Mexican-American War. You guys are going to research each date listed below to complete the timeline of the Mexican-American War. When you research an event date, okay, search the date followed by the phrase Mexican-American War on Google. And I will show you how to do that in just a second. After researching the event, write a full description of it in the event description column. If the event is a battle, begin your description with the name of the battle and then describe what happened during the battle. See example of event 2. And then lastly, if my computer would love to work today, it'd be great. Provide the source for where you found the research. I should say, where you completed the research of your event. Okay. And you guys can see where to do that in the research column. Okay. All right. So, how do we search for an event? I'm going to kind of show you guys here. Okay. You're going to go ahead, just highlight your date. You're going to go to Google, paste that event, and then type in Mexican American War. Okay, you'll get a bunch of different results. Okay, I want to see. All right, so click on that. My article will pop up. Wow, it even took me to what I searched. Okay, All right, so we're going to find the most relevant parts. We want to find that date in the text. All right, there it is, April 25, 1846. If you're still having a hard time finding it, you can hit Control F and paste that event again, and it'll pop up where it is in the text for you. Okay, once again, to use that function, it's called Control F at the same time. All right, it's going to tell us a little bit about the battle. I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to summarize it. I'm going to put my summary in the event description. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now, when I am finished writing that description, I'll go back to my article. I'm going to copy, paste that link in the research source, and I have my source. So I'm finished with that. I'm ready to move on to the next date. So for the second one, you guys cannot see, I've already filled that out for you. Okay, as an example, this is a battle. So you'll go ahead, once you search that date, as soon as you see it's a battle, you'll put in the name of the battle. So this one is the Battle of Palo Alto. And then you're going to go ahead and give me a description of what happens at that battle, just like I did here. Once again, when you're finished typing that out, grab the link for your event and then paste it in the resource section. There was one other event I filled out for you guys just because it was a difficult one, but I think it's important that you know it. Okay, so do make sure you read over that. As you guys see, there are some events that are highlighted in red here. Ignore those for now. You're going to use that in part 2. Okay? So, go ahead and complete the timeline. There are 14 total events. 3 of them are already completed for you, so you only have to do 11. Okay? Once you are completely finished with the timeline, your goal today is to completely finish this and only begin part 2. So focus on this. Okay? Once you're finished with this, go ahead, go back into Google Classroom, and you're going to open up the map of the Mexican War PDF in Kami. Okay, so I'm going to pretend we've already finished the whole timeline. So you're going to pause the video, go finish the timeline, then come back to the instructions. Okay, go back to the classroom. Once we have our timeline completed, we'll click on that PDF. And we're going to click that Open with Kami button. Okay, once again, this document is titled Map of the Mexican-American War. All right, so if we look at our directions here, following activity, so kind of a reminder, it's broken into 2 parts, a research timeline, and apparently I had to load again. Let me move my face and exit out of that. Boom. Okay. Timeline and corresponding map. Both will help you create an account of the various events that occurred during the Mexican-American War. Part 2 will be completed in Kami on the map below. Okay. You guys have your map right here. And it already has the Alamo and San Jacinto, I think is how you say that. Jacinto? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry. But that's when Texas becomes its own country. We're fast forwarding to 1845 when the Mexican-American War begins. You guys will have to be adding your own things and create your own key. Let's go ahead and read through the rest of these. All right, so using the map below and the timeline you completed, you're going to map out the Mexican-American War. You will use Kami. Okay, we're already in Kami to go ahead and place these events on the map. Okay, now which events do you pick? Any event from the timeline where the date has been highlighted in red must be indicated on the map below. Okay, so any of the events on this timeline that are highlighted in red, okay, we will place on the map below. Then, for each event's location, look it up and then place it on the map to the best of your ability. Okay, so like I know, we'll do this one in just a second. Okay, that I'm going to have to place the Battle of Palo Alto on the map. I'll go ahead and just search for it now, and then we'll look at the map real quick. Okay, all right. We are going to use rivers and regional borders as they are excellent guides. Okay, so we have our region of Mexico, we have Texas, we have the disputed territories, this darker color, we have the United States, and then we have some rivers here. We have this river up here, lake, river. Okay, use whatever references you can when placing things. Okay? All right, let me go ahead and finish. Okay. You need to create a key for the events you're placing on the map. Now listen closely. Okay? All right, U.S. victories are to be indicated differently than Mexican victories. So when you go to place that battle, mark it as a victory and have a way to indicate whether the United States wins that battle or whether Mexico wins that battle. Okay? I'll kind of show you guys what I'm going to do in just a second. Now, you'll need to know in your descriptions who won the battle. Okay? Other events should have their own marking on the map. I'm going to let you guys know there is a rebellion that's going to take place during all this chaos. Just mark that in a different color. Okay? And lastly, you need to include a compass rose. Okay, that's the north, south, east, and west. Okay? You'll have tons of room down here in your key. This is your text box option, and you can draw stuff in to help create your key. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and map an event. So we're going to look at our first one here. That is the Battle of Palo Alto. Okay, I've already Googled it. Now, I'm like, okay, these are all great. I'm going to go ahead and type in location to help me find it. Let's see. All right, that's Google Maps is going to pull it up. I'm going to see real quick if images will help me out first. See if there are any good maps here. Found one earlier, but I'm not seeming to find it now. Ooh, here we are. I think we got it. Let me move my face. Whole bunch of stuff here. That's not marked very well either. Okay, this search is not going super well, guys. All right, well, let's go back and we'll use Google Maps. We'll just have to zoom out a little. So first, let me check, make sure this is legitimate. So it is the National Historic Park of where the battle took place. That's good. I'll zoom out of the map a little. We can see that's right at the tip of Texas on the border with Mexico. So I'm going to go ahead and go in. I know for a fact that the U.S. ends up being able to defeat the Mexican army here. I'm thinking the United States should be blue. I'm going to use drawings, and I'm going to make a nice big circle. I'm going to use size 8. So I'm going to go boom. Oh, let me fix that color. You select, click on it, and then click here, and then, well, that was not super helpful. My face is really in the way, guys. This is taking too long. I apologize. We'll just make this blue for now. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead, add a label. Okay. You can either use the number or I'm going to go ahead and just type in Battle of so highlight that. I'm just going to change the text block for now. Okay. Done. Got event 1 done. Now, when I do go into my key, okay, I will need to make, let me find that like lightish blue. It's not perfect, but I'll go ahead and in drawing, actually I'll just use, drawing. I'll put a dot, and then once again, I'll have to fix that dot because I forget to keep looking. Okay, I'll put a little text box back next to that, and I'll put U.S. military victories. Okay, so I know that that light blue means U.S. military victories. Okay, continue to do this for everything else that is highlighted in red on the map. Remember, today we're just beginning this. We will finish this for the first half of tomorrow. Go ahead and pause the video when you're finished. Come on back for the out. All right, welcome back. We're going to take a look at our out real quick, and then we'll be done for the day. Okay, are you guys surprised that the Americans win the war? Yes or no? Okay, and then do you think the U.S.'s purchase of the other Mexican territories, okay, so where California, New Mexico, eventually what will be Arizona are, for $15 million is fair? Why or why not? That is all for today, guys. As always, thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, ask Mr. Hall Wagner or myself, and I will see you in the next lesson.